Imagine a root so precious that an emperor demanded it as a tribute, accepting it in place of gold or silver. A crop so profoundly sweet that it defined the very essence of sugar in Europe long before cane sugar crossed the oceans from distant lands. It adorned the feasts of royalty, nourished monks through the harshest of winters, and delivered a taste so rich and layered that today's parsnip pales in comparison, tasting like little more than bland filler. But if you stroll through a modern supermarket, you won't spot it anywhere. There's no empty slot on the shelf where it once sat, no faded label hinting at its absence. This isn't the tale of a plant that faded because it was frail or unpalatable. Quite the contrary. It was sidelined precisely because it was too intricate, too untamed, and too uniquely flavorful for an industrial food system that prizes uniformity over everything else. We swapped the sweetest root in history for a straightforward orange rod that's easy to pack into plastic bags and ship across continents. This is the story of Skirret, the forgotten sugar of the soil, and the calculated industrial decisions that wiped it from our shared culinary heritage. This is SproutCycle Garden. If you're convinced that the finest foods aren't always lurking in grocery stores, and you're eager to unearth the lost crops of history, please give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. It helps us stay motivated to bring more videos to you. We're excavating the past to nourish the future, and we want you cultivating right there with us. Let's dive deep into this forgotten gem. To truly grasp why we lost Skirret, we must first explore what it is at its core. Cisarum isn't merely another root crop, it's a botanical marvel in the vegetable world. Unlike most roots we consume today, such as carrots, parsnips, and turnips, which are biennials, you sow them, they grow for one season, you harvest and consume them, then start anew from seed the following year, demanding endless cycles of effort, Skirret plays by different rules. It's a robust perennial designed for longevity. Plant it once, and it forms a lasting colony in your garden. Beneath the earth, it doesn't produce a single neat taproot like its modern counterparts. Instead, it bursts forth into a tangle of twisted white fingers called fascicles. Picture it not as a tidy vegetable, but as a buried treasure trove, a cluster of elongated, creamy roots that resemble a handful of gnarled icicles, or perhaps the roots of some ancient mythical plant. This intricate root system serves as a natural energy storage unit. Engineered by nature to endure severe winters, Skirret loads these roots with extraordinarily high levels of natural sugars that function as built-in antifreeze, protecting the plant from freezing temperatures. But this goes beyond mere survival. It's about delivering unparalleled nutritional value. Let's break down the science with some eye-opening lab comparisons, because the data reveals exactly what we've sacrificed. Strip away the hype around modern produce, and the average orange carrot from your local store is essentially waterlogged, about 88% water with only around 10% dry matter. That means much of what you're biting into is just hydration with minimal substance. Skirret, on the other hand, is a powerhouse, featuring up to 18% dry matter, or even higher in optimal conditions. For every mouthful, you're getting nearly double the real nourishment, including denser concentrations of minerals and fibers compared to the diluted staples of contemporary farming. Now, consider the energy aspect, the calories that fuel your body. A typical grocery carrot clocks in at roughly 4.7 grams of sugar per 100 grams. Skirret shatters that benchmark, ranging from 10 to 15 grams of sugar per 100 grams, and sometimes spiking higher after a good frost, which converts starches to sugars for that antifreeze effect. That's a threefold boost in caloric density, making it a true survival food. But the micronutrient profile is where it truly shines. We're often told to munch on carrots for their health benefits, yet they provide a scant 5.9 milligrams of vitamin C per serving. Skirret counters with upwards of 25 milligrams, over 4 times the antioxidant power, helping combat free radicals and bolster immunity. It's also packed with potassium, calcium, iron, and other trace elements that surpass many modern roots. Sources like historical botanical texts and modern analyses from growers confirm it's more nutritious than even potatoes in certain vitamins and minerals, offering a balanced profile that's. This isn't hype, it's backed by how the plant adapts to its environment. While other crops might spoil, turn mushy, or develop off flavors when the soil freezes, Skirret improves with the cold. The harsher the winter, the sweeter it grows as those sugars intensify. It's virtually frost-proof, thriving in USDA hardiness zones as low as 4 or 5, where fragile annuals would wither and die. This makes it a promise of reliable abundance with minimal ongoing effort. No need for constant replanting or heavy inputs like fertilizers if the soil is prepared right. In fact, in rich, well-fertilized soil, it produces thicker, more harvestable roots, avoiding the thin, stringy ones from poor conditions. This resilience catapulted Skirret to stardom in the ancient world, far from being mere peasant fare. Far from the fields of the common folk, Skirret was elevated to high cuisine among the elites. In the Roman Empire, it wasn't just sustenance, it was a luxury. Emperor Tiberius, ruling from 14 to 37 AD, was notoriously fixated on its distinctive flavor. Historical accounts from writers like Pliny the Elder describe how he rejected locally grown varieties from the warmer Italian soils, insisting on imports from the cooler Rhineland regions in what is now Germany. He even levied taxes on those communities not in coins, but in bundles of Skirret roots, underscoring its value as a form of currency. To the Roman aristocracy, this wasn't a simple veggie, it was a delicacy, a confection savored for its natural sweetness in an era without refined sugars. Imagine banquets where Skirret was boiled in wine, roasted with herbs, or even candied as a treat. After Rome's fall, Skirret didn't fade, it endured and adapted. In medieval Europe, it went by names like chervil, crink, or crummock in Scotland, and became a cornerstone of monastic gardens. Monks, who were the era's leading horticulturists, prized it for bridging the hungry gap, that perilous stretch in late winter and early spring when stored grains dwindled, preserved fruits rotted, and fresh greens hadn't yet emerged. Populations faced starvation risks, but Skirret, being perennial and cold-hardy, could be unearthed from semi-frozen earth in March or April. It delivered a vital surge of sugars and starches when pantries were bare. Let's paint a vivid picture of life back then. In a cloistered abbey amid snow-dusted fields, a monk might venture out with a spade, dig through the frost to reveal those clustered fascicles, and harvest just enough for the day's meal without killing the plant. Back in the kitchen, it was versatile, boiled into nourishing soups, stewed with meats for hearty stews, or, most famously, battered and fried into sweet fritters that resembled early donuts, dusted with precious spices if available. Recipes from medieval cookbooks, like those in The Form of Curry from the 14th century, hinted similar preparations, though Skirret-specific ones are rarer today. It sustained not just bodies but spirits, offering comfort in bleak times. For over a millennium, from Roman villas to feudal manors, Skirret reigned as a reliable, flavorful staple, its cultivation passed down through generations of farmers and gardeners. So what led to the complete disappearance of such a regal and utilitarian plant? The decline of Skirret wasn't due to blight, insects, or shifting climates. It stemmed from a profound change in human mindset ignited by the agricultural revolution of the 17th and 18th centuries. This period marked a pivot from subsistence farming, where you grew primarily to feed your family and community, to market-oriented agriculture, focused on producing surplus for sale and trade. Enter the orange carrot, a newcomer that reshaped the vegetable landscape. Prior to the 1600s, carrots came in purple, white, or yellow hues and were often tough and woody, more akin to wild roots than the crisp snacks we know today. But Dutch breeders, blending patriotism with innovation, developed a vibrant orange strain to honor the House of Orange, their ruling dynasty. This wasn't just about color, it was about engineering perfection for commerce. The new carrot was straight, smooth, and uniform, a single tapering cone that harvested easily, cleaned quickly. Skirret couldn't compete in this visual and logistical arena. At market stalls, buyers' eyes gravitated toward the bright, clean lines of the orange carrot, while Skirret's gnarled, white fascicles appeared messy and archaic. We started eating with our eyes, favoring aesthetics over depth of taste or nutrition. The carrot became the emblem of the Industrial Revolution in food, standardized, efficient, and compliant with emerging machinery. Skirret, by contrast, was the untamed perdist, complex, irregular, and resistant to standardization. But aesthetics were only part of the story. As farming industrialized, Skirret's anatomy clashed with mechanization. Raw Skirret roots have crisp white flesh, but mature ones often feature a thin, woody core down the center, similar to an old green bean's string. To enjoy it fully, you cook it, Boiling, roasting, or frying softens or allows easy removal of the core. It demands a touch of patience, a human element to the table. Moreover, those productive fascicle clusters trap soil and debris, making them incompatible with industrial washers, peelers, or harvesters. You can't feed them into a tumble machine or high-pressure jet without damage. They require manual separation and cleaning. When tractors, combines, and processing plants dominated farms in the 18th and 19th centuries, Skirret was deemed inefficient and obsolete. The potato's arrival from the New World accelerated this, offering even higher yields with less fuss. Seed catalogs dropped Skirret varieties, farmers abandoned it for more profitable crops, and within a few generations the emperor's prized root became a relic, persisting only in obscure botanical collections or the recollections of elders. By the 20th century it was largely forgotten, labeled a weed in some areas. Yet this failure in Big Ag is precisely what makes Skirret a boon for today's home gardeners and permaculture enthusiasts. If you're weary of the yearly ritual, tilling soil, sowing seeds, thinning seedlings, and replanting, Skirret offers freedom. It's the ultimate low-maintenance crop for the lazy gardener, though I prefer efficient. As a perennial, invest in seeds or crowns once and reap rewards indefinitely. Let's get practical with growing tips, because if this inspires you, you'll want to start your own patch. First, sourcing. Skirret seeds or young plants are available from specialty nurseries like Cultivariable or Heritage Seed Companies. Search online for Siam Cisarum seeds. Sow seeds directly in mid-fall to late spring or start in modules for a head start. If using crowns, one-year-old plants, plant in early spring. Choose a spot with light shade. Full sun can work, but partial shade mimics its natural habitat and prevents bolting. Soil is key. It craves moist, fertile, light soil with a pH of 6 to 7.5. Dig deeply, incorporate plenty of compost or well-rotted manure to loosen it and boost nutrients. Avoid heavy clay that stunts roots. Plant seeds a 1/4 inch deep, spacing 12 to 18 inches apart. For crowns, bury so the top is just below the surface. Water consistently, especially in dry spells, and mulch annually with leaf mold or compost to retain moisture and suppress weeds. It's hardy to zone 4B or lower, surviving brutal winters without protection. In the first year, let it establish without harvesting. From year 2 onward, dig up a clump in late fall or early spring, use a fork to avoid damaging roots, snap off the thickest white fingers for eating, and replant the crown immediately. This propagates it naturally, expanding your colony over time. Pests? Minimal. Aphids or slugs might nibble, but it's resilient. Yields increase with age. A mature plant can produce pounds of roots annually. In the kitchen, don't let the woody core intimidate you. It's a minor hurdle for major rewards. Prep by scrubbing roots clean, no need to peel if organic, then boil for 10 to 15 minutes to soften. The core slips out easily post-cooking. Flavor-wise, it's a symphony. The sweetness of carrot meets the nutty earthiness of parsnip and parsley. It's in the Apiaceae family after all. Raw, it's crisp like a mild radish. Cooked, it turns tender and aromatic. Historical recipes abound. Try medieval-style fritters. Slice roots, dip in a batter of flour, eggs, and spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, fry in oil until golden, and dust with honey or sugar. For savory, roast with olive oil, garlic, and herbs at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes. Pairs beautifully with meats or in salads. Modern twists, puree into soups, grate into slaws, or candy for desserts. Nutritionally, it's a win. Low-calorie yet energy-dense, gluten-free, and supportive of gut health with its fibers. For permaculture, it's invaluable. Plant under fruit trees as ground cover, where it thrives in shade, outcompetes weeds, and mines deep nutrients, enriching the soil while providing calories from underutilized space. The saga of Skirret serves as a stark reminder that agricultural progress often equates to diminished quality. We forfeited Europe's sweetest root for the ease of a peelable, shippable vegetable. Machines and markets narrowed biodiversity, funneling us toward a few monocrops that slot into crates and shelves. But we can rebel against that. Cultivating Skirret now is an act of defiance against supermarket sameness, a reclaiming of authentic flavor and sustainability. It's embracing the messiness of nature for tastes that echo Emperor Tiberius's obsessions, valuing it over gold. It's planting a legacy that sweetens with each frost, enduring industrial neglect. If you're inspired to populate your plot with history's overlooked harvests, smash that subscribe button and like the video so we can continue making videos like this one. We've got more forgotten bounties to reveal, and the ultimate resistance is growing your own. Until next time, see you again.